Yokai are everywhere, causing you problems, messing up your hair. They'll trip you up, give you a flat tire, or make your socks go missing in the dryer. Yokai Watch.
The more I played Yokai Watch, the more I wanted to play. I wasn't convinced at first. The RPG has a weird and sometimes frustrating battle system. It relies too much on fetch quests, and it's not super challenging. However, I very quickly realized the draw of Yokai Watch is in its fascinating world. It remains fun and charming even when dealing with sort of dark ideas, so I was ultimately happy not to meet too many challenges and instead just exist in that world for a while. Yokai are basically meddlesome spirits. Some are mischievous, some are malicious, and others are just looking for a friend. Basically, any strange phenomenon can be attributed to unseen yokai, and Yokai Watch revolves around solving the mysteries and problems they cause. For example, freak car accidents in town are actually the work of Jibanyan, who's been trying to fight trucks because he was hit by one before he became a yokai. Most yokai fit into and affect the world in their own individual ways, and I immediately became interested in learning more about them. I spent hours just doing random side quests around town, getting information about yokai and people a bit at a time. Because most activities in Yokai Watch involve helping those people, it was rewarding to do easy or even tedious things, to a point. A lot of quests, story included, require you to fetch items, and I found that really tiresome after a while. Still, I adored exploring and talking to the funny, charming NPCs. My favorite thing about Yokai Watch is the sense of adventure and imagination it encouraged in me. I didn't mind breezing through basic and sometimes tedious quests because it meant getting to explore. For example, in order to go out at night, I had to befriend the yokai Baku so she could pretend to be me asleep in my bed. But then, something called Terror Time happened. I learned that it has to do with kids' nightmares and that I'd have to run to safety, and then I actually had to start running. I was also impressed that Yokai Watch didn't shy away from more serious problems. One of your first tasks is to defeat the yokai Desmeralda, who's causing your parents to fight. Solving a common issue right away, one that a lot of kids can relate to, gives the world of Yokai Watch depth and meaning. Yokai Watch's combat is a weird but interesting hybrid of real-time and turn-based elements. Yokai take turns attacking, but do so on their own, and I handled healing them and rotating 3 of my 6 yokai in at a time. I very often felt like a manager or a coach instead of a player. My team could take down low-level opponents with little to no input from me, so I just hit the fast-forward button and wait it out. The strategy lies in organizing your team well beforehand, which I liked, but it was frustrating to watch my yokai use status moves instead of dealing obvious final blows. This unique battle style works way better on more difficult bosses. Instead of just sitting back, I often had to coordinate which yokai were out in combination with each other. Bosses deal a lot of damage, so healing in time was critical. There's also a special move called a Sultimate that's more powerful than yokai's regular attacks, and it's not passive like those attacks. You have to play a short minigame on the touchscreen while the battle rages on up top. That, combined with keeping yokai healthy and handling both screens, made boss battles frenetic and fun. As an RPG, Yokai Watch mostly fumbles its battle system and creates a relatively passive experience. However, I adored exploring every corner of its compelling world. The low difficulty ultimately works in its favor. I was always eager to move on to the next charming character or interesting idea. Yokai Watch is a kids game that doesn't talk down to or sugarcoat darker themes for kids, and I appreciated not being talked down to either. For more on Yokai Watch, stay tuned to IGN.